Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everyone, as we enter a brand new year. And even if you're seeing or hearing this after the first of the year, it totally applies. So many of us have these goals, the resolution of the new year and such. But then there's some of us that kind of put that off, or maybe start it and then put it off and procrastinate. Why do we procrastinate? Why are we putting these things off? We know we shouldn't. We know we're going to benefit from it in many different ways. We're going to dig into that today. And that's with somebody who is a fantastic psychotherapist, has a lot of insight, works with everybody from children, teens, families, couples, and such. And she's back with us. Susie Engel is on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Steve. How are you?
Really good. And it's so funny that we're talking about this because I just walked to the bathroom and was coming back. And my friend and I have decided he's going to stop vaping. And we're both going to just cut alcohol. Not that I drink a lot, but I love craft beer. And I'm finding as I get older, even two in a night, it's just like, it doesn't work for me anymore. And as I'm walking back from the bathroom, we're supposed to be January 1st, but I'm thinking like, I'm going to put that off a couple of days because there's some things going on this weekend. So I even procrastinated on that. So Monday will be it.
That's funny.
We all do it. We all do it. What are some of the reasons that we do procrastinate in general?
We all do it. We've all done it. I think that some people, I just think it's a developmental thing. I think that I hear the strongest experiences, or maybe this is just my subjective experience. Procrastination was very strong for me, high school age. Definitely one of my first early experiences in college. And I just said to myself, I will never put myself through this again because I was so stressed out. And back then we didn't really talk about feeling stressed. It's just, I did not feel right. I was revving. I rushed to finish a paper for college, and I like doing a good job when I'm supposed to do things, and here I am scrambling and making myself sick. I mean, spiritually, mentally sick, and physically my body was so tense, so I handed it in. It was a very poor paper, and I really did tell myself at that point that I would never procrastinate again. I'd rather say I run out of time in the day and I'll get to what I haven't accomplished. But why do people procrastinate? I mean, it's like this insidious version of avoidance. I'd rather do something else than do that. So, but I have this, once I came to suffer so much through procrastination at that moment in college, I just said to myself, I don't want to put myself through this again. And I'm putting myself through it. And so after that, one of my methods was do everything I dislike or don't want to do in a day first. And that's literally how I managed to change my method about procrastination. And I still do. I still do all sorts of good things at the beginning of the day to welcome my day and have purpose. But on my to-do list, I will prioritize all the things I least want to do and do them first.
That's a challenge. I have to say, it is. And
that's just me. So this is just subjective, right? So
I think it's a great idea, but it's, I find it being a challenge. Let's look at why we procrastinate. There's so many different reasons. Fear of failure, fear of success.
Yeah.
Avoidance.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's not a fun thing for me to do. I'd rather do something else. Fear of well, all these things, fear is the is the
Operative word.
operative word,
Yeah.
right? Right?
Yeah. But you
So
know what?
fear,
The deeper I go into it, I don't find it so much anymore fear of failure, where maybe back then it was, or maybe I just realized what it really is. It's not fear of failure, it's fear of failing myself.
and then procrastination is failing ourselves.
Yes, but
So
it used to be like I worried about what people thought, how they would judge. So I'm not going to do it, because it's not going to come out right, and people are going to look at it a certain way. I'm like, I don't really care about that anymore.
oh, that's a good
It,
thing.
it really comes down to me setting the goal and then failing myself. That seems to be more important. And maybe it was always that way along the way, and I only
Unconscious.
realized that in the last couple of years. But again, it comes
Yeah.
back to the basics. It's fear. It's fear, and then of failure of some sorts, right?
Well, and I think it's also early, whether it's skill sets or like I have a very strong work ethic. And why does somebody else not? It's not a
Mm,
judgment about, oh, then that person's not good.
yep.
It's just why did that person grow maybe in alongside me and does not have a strong work ethic or has other, I mean, I don't even know because I'm so immersed in my own way of living.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that procrastination comes from a lot of different places and we have to look at that. And I do think fear is a big one. But I also, and what are the dimensions of fear? So not everybody's going to be afraid um of, I didn't mean to say but not everybody is going to be afraid of others' judgments. Not everybody is going to be afraid of failing themselves. But I do think, there is this other part of fear that says, a what if, like a what if I can't do it?
Ooh, yeah. The what ifs.
Or what if I don't have everything in a row, which is a little bit of fear of failure. What if I'm not good enough for this? And that's a deep-seated, the good enough problem is a deep-seated self-worth
Oh,
issue
universal, right? So
that,
we all have it in some shape and form. Not good enough.
and at some point in our lives, unless we've totally come to terms with a lot of things, which takes a lot of work and constant work and a lot of good self-care and but I think that also the work ethic. So how have we learned to do what we do? So we've talked a little bit about how little kids, they don't need to be taught how to walk, right? But if an adult
Mm.
starts interjecting how to do things that a child naturally wants to problem solve, maybe not about walking, but about other things in life that, we really do have it in us to problem solve and figure out things. But if people interject or say you're not doing it the right way, or without allowing the child to experience whether or not they're going to be successful or they're going to fail at something, and then figure out backtracking each step on what they could do differently, I think that that contributes to people's procrastination.
Hmm.
I think that it's a big drag if a grown up interrupts a child's process, whether they're trying to just figure out a kid's thing or trying to figure out homework or trying to figure out something that they're just curious about.
Well, how many parents enable their kids? Kids struggling, and I don't know how to do this or whatever. But Bill, I'll show you how to do it, and then they wind up doing it for the kid.
And then well, so now we're getting at it a little bit. So there are some people who just it's within them to enable or to make it easier, or they do believe I'm supposed to keep my children happy
Mm,
rather than let my children go through the struggle
yep.
as long as it takes.
It comes from a good place, but it's
Of
really,
course it does, but it doesn't always result in a benefit for the individual who's the recipient. And then there's the also, I've had this where somebody will remind me of things as if I don't have a brain in my head. And and that is like nagging.
mm,
And when I'm reminded of something, it really does trigger me to like kind of say, well, actually, I don't even want to deal with this. Nagging is not exactly a parent making their child happy or trying to enable their child, but it is a version of some sort of enabling. Like, why? Why can't we just know that the person knows they have to do these things and let them be responsible for it, or let them procrastinate?
do you feel when it comes to adults and we procrastinate that many times, or it could be the reason that we're not totally clear on what the goal is and what's involved in it, and then your brain just gets all scattered because I can't even deal with this, and then goes off to the side. You feel that either through journaling or just documenting it, physically writing it down, as we said, is very impactful instead of typing it.
Yeah.
So you solidify what you're trying to achieve. I find
Yeah.
that in myself, sometimes where it's like, yeah, I want to, oh, wait a minute. I'm not even sure how to get there, what I need to do, and really what the end goal is.
I like what you're pointing out because what we could say is that's a bit of experiencing overwhelm. Like, I'm not even sure where to start or how to get to my end goal. And sometimes with overwhelm,
Mm,
that becomes maybe a contributor to procrastinating as well. Now, we also have to look back. I mean, especially if we use like the therapeutic models of EMDR or any type of therapy,
sure.
we have to look back. What are our initial experiences of overwhelm that may have nothing to do with the subjects that we talk about? It just may have to do with, oh my gosh, I was a little child and this experience. And I talk to the young children who come to my office and I talk to the adults who come to my office. What might have that felt like when whatever their experiences were overwhelming? And they can describe it all, and I think that that's phenomenal. But really, what I end up saying is when I hear you describe this, it's as though these experiences, and we've talked about this, Steve, it's as though these experiences are too big for your body. And I think you've talked about how certain things feel like a tidal wave
Mm.
rather than we have the perspective of, I can handle this. And this all comes back to procrastination or not procrastinating,
You
to
know,
be or not to be.
it really does, and I think we
Oh,
we we don't realize it that that's really what's going on there. But we all procrastinate. Why do you think? Okay, we got brand new year starting. We know many of us want to change our health, our fitness goals, and then we don't, or we just keep putting them
yeah,
off.
yeah,
What do you think is going on? Yeah, just I'm bringing it up because it's real at this moment.
right.
What do you think is going on there? Is it back to fear of failure again?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it may be, it may be part of it. So there's no black and white, like, no, it's got nothing to do with that. I'm not saying that. I think that everything's on a spectrum. So yeah, fear of failure definitely will play a part. But I also think, and the same with procrastination, which is why I wanted to get it out of my system. I think that the stumbling blocks to, you know, changing our lifestyles or improving our physical health or sweating every day or however people do it, eating a healthy, nutritious, homemade, real food diet, whatever that is, whatever the blocks are, I think it comes back to this question. Do I believe I'm deserving of this? Do I believe I
Mm.
am good and deserving of it? And for me, that's so motivating because I do believe that. And we
I
need the world to believe that.
thank you for saying that. I completely forgot about that word, deserving. I feel many of us feel we don't deserve things.
Get it. Yeah, or forget that. That's a beautiful question. If I'm procrastinating or at a stumbling block, to be able to say, let me reflect about this question. Am I believing that I'm deserving to grow in this way or to experience whatever I think this goal is for me? It could be any goal. It doesn't have to be a healthful diet, or
Sure.
it can be any goal, right? You know,
But the deserving thing is big, you
it's
know?
big, but it's also to the point, isn't it? If we stop and ask ourselves that, don't we get a burst of motivation? Like I get clarity from that.
Uh, Processing whether you deserve something or not.
Yes, well, yes. I mean, why would you not deserve? Why would anybody in the world not deserve personal growth or what was it that you brought up? So procrastination, the overwhelm, maybe. How
Mm.
do I go about this? Is it
Yep.
possible for me to get to that point?
Yep. Fear of
That
failure.
failure, fear, all these emotions are natural. Those emotions, fear and failure, those are emotions. They're natural. But if they freeze us, then we're getting into some sort of threat mode,
Mm.
like the fight, flight, freeze thing. If we're
Yep.
frozen and
Yep.
can't move
Sure.
and can't budge ourselves to accomplish this, then we have to look at what is this reminiscent of?
I have a friend that has everything in front of him. Like he looks like a male model. He looks 20 years younger than he is. He's fit. He's a great speaker. He's essentially a motivational business type coach, but he hasn't elevated his business to where it should be, where it deserves to be.
Deserves.
And it's almost as if he can't get out of his own way. But I'm feeling that he's not afraid of failing. He's
Yeah,
afraid of succeeding.
maybe, but that comes back to the deserving. And listen, this
Mm.
stuff is unconscious.
Oh, for sure.
It's just when the moment comes and the unconscious becomes conscious, the unawareness becomes an awareness. That's when things shift, like like a breeze, easy.
Mm.
That's when things shift. And this person, this friend of yours, probably has to go back and say, how might I have been informed of success? A lot of people experience these traumas where they're super successful, they feel so good, and then somebody tells them, don't be on a high horse. Or where do you think this, who do you think you are to have this confidence, or confuse confidence with conceitedness. And all these things play a part of holding people back, But I viewed all this stuff. If somebody doesn't believe they're deserving, procrastinates, maybe hurts themselves with their lifestyles, I just think that all these things are a level on a spectrum of self-harm. And why? Why are we punishing ourselves? Why?
Subconscious.
It's the unconscious or
Yeah.
subconscious, however you
Yeah.
use the terms. It's the unconscious holding ours, but it's usually the unconscious is often fed by somebody else's insecurities or fears. So if a, okay, go.
How do you mean that? It's fed by somebody else's fears.
Well, let's say I felt really, really good about my tennis game one day, and I'm really not that good. And somebody said,
Oh. Hmm.
you're not that good. You know, if you were 4.5 level, then you could feel that way. But that's not true. It's my individual
Yeah.
satisfaction and reward and fulfillment in doing something that I'm trying out. That's all.
Yeah. Whether you
And I don't
good or
really care.
not, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. If you
yeah.
enjoy the game, then you just do your thing. Whatever
And
you get
have
out of
that.
it, you get out of it. That's your choice.
And you get what you get out of it. That's what you just said.
Yeah.
And what happens if, when I was a child, I felt really confident about something. I felt really good about it. And somebody said, well, yeah, you're okay, but I mean, don't get conceited. And then you have this undermining
Mm,
negative undercurrent of
yeah.
something that was a very pleasant experience. And I think that these all feed into procrastination. I'm not deserving. Who am I? And I think that as we grow through life, we have to really understand these things and realize that that's how we're informed by other people. And we
Well,
talked about social media too, you and I
oh,
did.
yeah. I mean,
Right, social media is a big one, but if you think about our individual experiences.
well, we talked about how comparison steals joy. So if you look on social media and you see, another therapist in another state and they're playing tennis and they posted it and they're damn good, then you start looking like, oh, well, I'm not that good. But I'm finding
No,
as I get older, I care less and less and less about
I
what people think.
totally, I
I
can't
didn't
like it.
though. That's only in the last,
Yeah,
I don't know, handful of years where it just I pulled back from it and like I don't really care. And I wish, we all do this. We all think about this, or this question comes up. If you could tell your younger self something that
yeah.
would have made a difference, it would have for me. It would have been that. It would have been that. Don't care
And
what people think.
yeah, and I love that people can figure this stuff out at very early ages. And even at my office, sometimes parents can come in and they can start understanding how they're maybe misinforming their children in these subtle ways. Right?
Mm,
It's just serious. And it's also good at any age to understand this and to put it to rest.
for sure.
Because why would you want to, you know, I just think it's exciting to understand all these conversations that we have. I would guess that the audience of these podcasts can reflect on these conversations and get a lot of personal growth out of them.
I've told you before, it's your superpower is making us think. So I think about these things, and process like, why do I do what I do? Oh, that goes back to, something in childhood, maybe subconscious. And even the procrastination thing, as I'm, I shared before, had some goals, didn't really push it. Why? Because I didn't clearly define them as I reverse engineer it. And then what are the steps that I need to do? Because a lot of times, all right, let me work on this. I don't even know what I'm doing. All right, let me put that to the side and go do something else.
Yeah.
But therein lies the procrastination. Best way to find you if somebody's looking to make some changes in their life. I know you can work virtually with anybody anywhere. How do we do that?
Yeah, and in person at my office.
Sure.
Uh, my website is the best way. My website is susanengel-lcsw.com.
Beautiful. Thank you for today's talk. So relevant.
Thank you. And remember the main question to ask ourselves, am I deserving? And the answer should be yes.
Well, there's a little trick I hear in the psychological world where you give a truth statement. Is it true that you deserve this? Or whatever it is.
Nice.
Kind of reframes it. So, well, yeah, of course it's true.
Of course it's true.
You know? Happy New Year, by the way.
And thank you, Steve. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and see you in 26.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.